Hello Gemini, welcome to this reading for the month of December. I hope it finds you well, and I hope that if this video found its way to you, that it was meant for you. Since this is going to be a general reading for your sign as a whole, some details may not resonate with you, and if that's the case, please feel free to check out another placement, another reading, or another reader in general. We're starting this month in the aftermath of a partial lunar eclipse, which was in your sign, Gemini, and so it's a pretty challenging time during a year that's already been pretty challenging, so hopefully this reading is going to help provide some clarity and some insight for you in what's to come this month. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to find your central theme for the month, and I'm using the Spiritual Tarot by Akidax Uno. And I like using major arcana decks like this one to find themes, because I want to know like what major lesson or event is going to affect you. One more time. One more time. I lied. Sometimes it just doesn't feel right. Alright. What does Gemini have in store this month? What is coming up for Gemini? What does Gemini have to come? Oh, there we go. Ooh. The Empress in reverse. Right off the bat, I'm getting a sense that you may not be taking care of yourself very much, Gemini. I don't think it's necessarily that you're neglecting someone that you care about. I think it's more so that you are neglecting yourself so much that you don't have enough to give to other people right now. It's kind of the feeling that I'm getting, but let's take a closer look. I'm going to use this Rider-Waite deck to get the details for this reading. Go one more time. Hard. Okay. What's causing the Empress to be here in reverse? What's causing this in your month? Came back. Alright, Ace of Swords in reverse. I feel like there's a couple more in here. I think that you are neglecting yourself so much that you're not reaching out for help where you have it. And there's just this lack of communication and this lack of clarity between you and your support group, I think, and I think that's a big part of it. Ooh. Oh, okay. Judgment. Upgrade. Oh, one more. It's in here somewhere. There you are. And Temperance in reverse. Okay. You're doing everything you can to avoid this reaching out, bridging this gap to you and your support system, whether it's an individual or your group of people in general. You don't like asking for help, so you're not going to ask for it. And I think that may be coming across to others as well, like you have a similar energy towards them. And I think it's just creating this kind of imbalance, especially here with this Temperance in the reverse, that things are off. Things are not quite right, and it's because I'm just getting the sense it's because you are working way too hard to do way too much on your own, because you kind of don't want to burden other people with your problems. So you just would rather suffer in silence. Like, the feeling I'm getting from this Ace of Swords is kind of like falling on your own sword sort of thing, and it's feeling like your miscommunication is what's hurting you. But I think it's going to reach a point where you really realize, like, something needs to change right now. There's going to be a big revelation, especially with Judgment right here. I feel like it's going to be like a specific event, and you're just gonna, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be an event where, like, a bunch of things are going on or you're out in an event and that's when it happens. I think it's more so it's just going to be an event in your mind, like something's just going to click and you're going to realize that things are pretty imbalanced right now, whether it's your home life, your work life, your personal life, your romantic life, anything like that. You just don't know how to balance all of that at once on your own. And I don't really think anybody does, to be honest. I think that it's pretty common to not be able to do everything yourself. I mean, that's why humans got to the point that they're at. We are social creatures and we're communal creatures, and helping each other out is how we got to where we are now. And I think a lot of us have this idea drilled into us that you need to be able to do things yourself, otherwise you are useless to society almost. And that's a really insidious thought for people to have when we are social creatures at heart, and we're meant to help each other in order to move forward and be our best selves, you know? So I feel like you're definitely going to really feel this imbalance in your life. You've probably already felt it, but you're really going to feel just how off kilter it is and see the areas that need some attention, and also where you can find your help and accept it in a way that you're comfortable with, pretty much. Yeah, before I pull any clarifiers, let me see if we can find out how this is going to manifest this month. Ooh, all right. Okay, so we've got the Nine of Swords in reverse, King of Pentacles in reverse, and the Ten of Wands. Okay, so with this, I feel like you're starting to let go of some of these worries and fears that keep you from reaching out to the people that you want to and the resources that you want to. I think it's mostly going to be about reaching out to people, especially with the swords here twice. Swords are usually about communication, and that's definitely what it feels like. We have this breakdown of communication right at the beginning where, you know, we have the Ace of Swords. It's often clarity and new beginnings, and here it's miscommunication and misunderstandings. And I think a lot of these fears are what keeps you from clearing them up, whatever they are and whoever they're with. But you're starting to let go of some of those fears, especially having the Nine of Swords here in reverse. You are so close. You're almost close to completing the cycle, letting go of these negative patterns and these negative emotions that are keeping you here. And I think there might be something that happens either with your finances or your career. I don't think it's necessarily your home life. I think it's more so it has to do with your job that you're gonna slip up. I don't know if it's gonna be like a scheduling conflict or something just doesn't go the way that you plan it, but it's gonna kind of backfire on you, and it's gonna suck because you've been putting in so much work and effort, but you are so burdened. Like, we have the Nine of Swords here, so close to that, completing that cycle. But with the Ten of Wands here, like, you are done. You are close to burnout. You need to take a break, pretty much. So, like, I think, firstly, with being able to let go of those fears that hold you back from reaching out to what you need, and with whatever this is, like some kind of event that's going to show you that your work is suffering from this, that you're going to realize you're just too overburdened and you need to start figuring out where your priorities lie and how to sustain yourself, pretty much. And that doesn't come overnight, but I think a good first start for that is just taking a break, taking some time for yourself to reflect and just recuperate. I'm actually going to go to this Aquarian deck right here, and I like using this little deck as my clarification. I get really good cards from this. I cannot shuffle it for the life of me though. Alright. About Judgment. The details of this. I feel Ace of Swords feels like it's been talked about. I feel like I got what we needed to get from it. But with Judgment, I am curious to see what kind of event this might be. Or what the kind of, like, what it's going to be in relation to, I should say. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Got the Ten of Wands in reverse, which, when I see Ten of Wands reversed, it just, like, means major burnout. Like, you might be approaching a burnout that you're not even going to be choosing, or you might be aware that's what your future is going to look like if you don't take that break. Like, you might slip up so bad that you're out of commission for a little bit and you're forced to take that break because you didn't take it when you were able to and when you should, to be kind to yourself. And we also have the Four of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. And I feel like with the three of these together, I think a lot of that lack of communication, a lot of these anxieties and fears, you're a little bit insecure, whether it's about yourself or how others perceive you, or just about your emotions. I think it mostly relates to your emotions. You're kind of insecure about how you feel, and that's something that's further keeping you back from asking people. I think also seeing the Four of Pentacles here in reverse, usually when we see the Four of Pentacles upright, you're very guarded. You're kind of stingy with what you have. You have what you have and you're holding on to it because you know what it's like to experience loss. But with the Four of Pentacles, you're thinking of opening up. You're thinking about giving yourself or your words or your feelings and thoughts to somebody else, reaching out for that help now that your anxieties are starting to be a little bit conquered. And even though you are open to this idea now, you're starting to think that you need to actually, go out of your way to let people in or ask for people to come to you when you're in need of help. You're still a little insecure about it. You're afraid of what people will think, or just how you'll think. It doesn't necessarily have to be other people's perceptions of you. Sometimes everyone can support you and you're still going to be your biggest critic. And I think this is more so that feeling of that. You kind of feel like you are not deserving of this and you're having to struggle with that feeling. And let me get at least one card for Temperance. Because I feel like these are the things you're going to be realizing are what's holding you back, or specifically like keeping you held back from moving forward. There we go. Justice in reverse. Okay. You may have also been avoiding doing this because you may have done something not completely savory, or just something not completely in another person's best interests. Or rather, I think what it is maybe there's, people in your life or a person or something that they do want to be there for you, and you know that, but you also won't acknowledge that, and you kind of won't let them in. And I think that's also feeding into this feeling here of you're ready to give yourself away, but you're afraid of how it'll go, especially after this. You're afraid that it's just going to backfire because you weren't a perfect saint in the situation. But that's why you need to talk about things. You're never going to know what the result is going to be unless you take that leap, basically. And you're never going to solve issues in your personal life or your own personal internal self until you decide that you want to push forward and push past them. And I think that's really what you're going to do here with the way that these themes are going to manifest. You're going to reach a point where you want that for yourself. You're going to have that security and respect for yourself and your own emotions to recognize that you need that. You need someone to lean on, or some group of people. I feel like you do have a big support group, whether it's family or like a group of friends or something like that, but yeah, you just need to remember that you have people near you and they have your back. If you would do something similar for them, they should do something similar for you, And that's the kind of attitude you should keep in mind when you think about asking people something, especially if it is someone you do stuff for, Like, equal give and take is what relationships are about. Friendship, romance, whatever. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the Rider-Waite deck. Because again, these three cards, I feel like we've kind of gotten what we needed to from these up here. Now, we're going to see how should you react to this manifestation. How are you going to respond to this? Or how should you respond to this? Two of Pentacles in reverse. I think you're going to start looking at the area. Firstly, you're going to recognize that, yeah, you're overburdened and you're not balancing it very well. And by just pushing through it, you've just gotten yourself in a deeper spot. So you need to develop that skill. You need to stop what you're doing so you can think about, how can I do this better? And I think with that as well, I think that is what you're going to start doing. You're going to stop. You're going to see the areas of your life where things are just not working, or things are blocked, things are not moving ahead because you can't deal with them right now or put them into action. And you're going to realize what it is you want to actively be filling your days with. And we don't always get to choose that, obviously. We need to make a living, we need to take care of our responsibilities. But I think you're going to learn that the way that you're going about it isn't the way that it has to be. And man in reverse. Yeah, I think you're going to get this new perspective of the Hanged Man, which you get whether it's upright or reversed. There's always that new perspective that you're getting from being upside down. But I think with this perspective, you're kind of just, the new perspective you're getting is how upside down you are, and how a lot of things have been stagnant or in waiting because you've just had this stagnant Hanged Man in reverse energy to you. You know that decisions needed to be made, or sacrifices needed to be made, or action needed to be taken, even if it was difficult, but you didn't want to yet. You saw the path ahead of you, but you didn't put it into action yet. And that's honestly understandable if you are in a situation where you're so stressed out and your days are just so filled with so much that you have to take care of, that it's kind of like, why would I even start this right now when I have all this other stuff going on? But sometimes we can use that stuff as a distraction, from what we don't want to think about, or what we don't want to do just yet because of how difficult it is. Alright. No clarifiers for those either. Well, let's get one for the Hanged Man in reverse, actually. Oh gosh. Okay, we've got the Two of Pentacles. This one won't come out. We've got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So, yeah, I think you're really working on something that your heart and your soul isn't in. You're working on this, but you don't want to be. And that's kind of where you've been. That's what's on one side of this situation. And it's kind of like this is where you are. And you're also seeing that this is where you could be balanced, organized, satisfied with the different aspects of your life. Your personal life, your friends, your relationships, your romantic life, your work life, your home life, your business life. It's so much to take care of, but it's also a lot easier to take care of when there's people there to help you with it, especially when it comes to your your personal life and just your friends. Like, your friends are there for you, you know? And I think that's pretty much what's going to happen. You're going to realize, if I can actually grab this card, you're going to realize how imbalanced you've been, how tired of what you've been working very hard on just to be working on something almost. And you're going to realize that you've been this hanged man waiting for nothing kind of a thing. It's not to say that like what you've been doing is not worthwhile or anything like that. It's just like a attitude of, eventually I can do something about this. And you've had the power to do that, you just haven't wanted to yet. And I think that's why that hanged man is here. You're gonna realize that you've kind of been the one holding yourself back from these things. Alright, okay. And now I'm going to get my 3 favorite questions to close a reading with, which is something to do, something to know, and something to stop. What do you need to do, Gemini? What do you need to do going forward from this event, this pattern? Page of Pentacles. Love this little dude. Awesome. Yeah, I think that when you realize this and you realize that you need to let go of a lot of what you've been working on, you're gonna have the opportunity to start some new venture. And it's something you're really going to enjoy, and it's something you're really going to want to work towards. And when you put that work into it, you can make something really long-lasting and worthwhile. You know, you can go from the Page of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles, upright this time. Oh, that's a nice little message. Alright, I think I'm going to go into the Aquarian deck again one last time, and we're just going to find any final messages that are related to this reading. Anything else we need to know or consider, or just any final advice. Page of Swords. Yeah, okay. You're gonna get to this by going through the Page of Swords first. You need to open up that communication. You need to start talking to the people around you. And you need to tell them what's been going on with you and how you're feeling. And even if they're not the ones helping you figure this out, which I feel like they are, I feel like people are going to want to brainstorm with you. Like, oh, what can we do to make Gemini happier and more satisfied with what they're doing, you know? But I feel like even just talking about it is going to give you the release that you need in order to, like, you could do this on your own. But you need to have that confidence and that willpower first to be able to be this direct, communicative person. Nice, I like seeing those two together. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clear this space. And the last thing that we're going to do before finishing the reading is we're going to take Spiritual Tarot one more time, and we're going to see what lesson you're supposed to be learning from this theme this month. What are you supposed to know or learn or experience by the end of this? What is this being here to teach you? The Tower. Okay. I think after everything we just talked about, I think what you're going to learn is sometimes the things that you know you need to do but can't bring yourself to do they're so difficult. It's so hard to make yourself do it. No matter how much you want to, it's so hard to make yourself do it. And going through that is going to feel like a tower moment. Like, it's going to cause a foundational shift in you. Because this seems like a disaster. This seems like the last thing you wanted to do. But you're doing it. This is all coming down. So you can rebuild on a better foundation. And have the nurturing and the creativity that you need to move forward in life. Pretty much what I'm getting from this fellow here. The Tower is always a scary card, but scary things are a good lesson for us sometimes. Alright, that is the end of this reading, Gemini. I hope it resonated with you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you'll join me for another reading in the future, and I really wish you a lot of luck. It's hard to open up. It's hard to talk about things when you feel like you're not allowed to. Not just that you can't, but you're not allowed to. Anyone else can, but not you, for some reason. Our brains think like that sometimes. And I think you have the strength and the willpower to get to where you want to be. And I think you have the people around you that you need to get there as well. Yeah. Good luck, Gemini. I'm sending you a lot of love and light. Take care.